the law has changed to state that you cannot have a personal communication device in your hand. And it doesn't say anything about using it, texting, or how it has to be in your hand or why it's in your hand. It says it cannot be in your hand. So what we're seeing is, people are used to having a cell phone in their hand, and we know that. But when you're driving, you've got to learn to put it down. And one of the good things is a lot of the cars now, the technology is such that you really don't need it in your hand, so there's no reason to have it. And the person we just stopped, it was kind of an educational moment, because it wasn't the fact that they just had a cell phone in their hand, but the distraction of being on that phone and trying to use it caused him to pull out in front of us, which almost caused a crash. So when you can link the cell phone to an event that's going to cause a crash or going to cause a traffic hazard or it's going to cause your driving behavior to be suspect, then it's a great learning opportunity for us to get involved with the public and tell them, hey, it's not just having the phone. People can get used to that, but you using it at that point almost caused a car crash or an injury, or the interstate to be shut down, or another intersection to be shut down, and you've almost compounded the problem we have in Stafford County because you were distracted. So we want people to put the phones down. We want people to use the technology in their car, and just leave the distractions down, because again, every minute that we're shutting down these roads in Stafford, the interstate or Route 1, causes another 3 miles of backup, and that just gets worse and worse and worse. So that one was a great example of the cell phone actually causing distracted driving or bad driving behavior, or luckily we were paying attention and we didn't hit him, but just being on the phone and pulling out in front of a car, that has grave consequences if both people aren't paying attention.
And you can't even hold it. The law says you can't even hold it.
It cannot be in your hand. So it was, during the first couple of evolutions of the law, it was, you couldn't text. That was the first one, and that was absolutely hilarious, because, you couldn't text while you were driving, but if you were on, using your calculator app or something else, it was legal. And the judges and the legislature found the loophole in that, because people come to court and say, I wasn't texting, Your Honor, I was on Facebook, and it was legal. So we were all scratching our heads going, oh, that was creative, you got us on that one. So then they changed it to manually entering or reading, all these different things. So people say, well, I wasn't on it, I was just holding it in my hand. And all these different things were still causing the same amount of distractions to the driver. So now the legislature just got smart and said, hey, you cannot have it in your hand no matter what. It doesn't say you have to be using it. It doesn't say what you have to be doing with it. But we know, as human beings on this earth, that if it's in your hand, you're doing something with it. You're doing something you shouldn't be doing. So it's gotten very simple. It's not a secondary offense. It's something we can stop for. So we're trying to get the word out there. We're trying to educate people. We're trying to, do it in a way that people understand why. And like I said, this last one where he almost caused a crash because he was distracted talking on the phone is a great example of being able to educate the public on why it's such a big deal. And the best part is that person even know, he's like, I didn't even see you. I know, because I will hit you when you didn't see me pulling in front of me. But he did know, well, you stopped me from my cell phone. Well, okay, good. So now you understand that the cell phone caused you to almost, cause a crash and increase my paperwork load exponentially because, you were distracted. So we want people to learn. We want people to be educated. We want people to use the technology in their cars and keep their focus on driving and on the gauges, the speedometer, and the things that you're supposed to be concentrating on while you're driving.
And even like we're in pretty slow stop and go kind of traffic on 95. To start reading emails or starting to do things, even at slower speeds, can easily cause a crash, and then we go through everything we've talked about.
Well, people, and I guess human nature is, I'm not driving that fast. And people who are very busy, people who have a lot of work to do, or teleworking, or doing other things, kids, they're thinking, well, I'm not going that fast, I'm gonna check some emails. Well, in theory, it's still wrong. You can't justify that in any way. But people think because I'm sitting in stop and go traffic, nothing bad can happen. I'm just gonna read some emails, or I'm gonna call, check in on the kids, I'm gonna do, fill my shopping cart, so I can pick up groceries on the way home. All those things, we understand people are busy, but that's where the slower speed crashes come in. You have the 2 and 3 car crashes. You know, somebody runs it back to somebody else, and they're too close to somebody else, and it's nothing, you know, life-threatening, but still, you have a lane of traffic closed now because you have that crash. And one of the things we're also very conscious of is, you know, when that crash moves to the shoulder, it opens the road up, but there's flashing lights, people are slowing down. It causes secondary crashes because now people aren't on their cell phones. They're looking at the flashing lights and the crash that happened. You know, they've got their phones out now and they're trying to take pictures so they can be the first one on Stafford Talk to post this crash and have the pictures, and it just causes more and more crashes. And we've done the studies on secondary crashes and how much effect they have, and how, you know, just how inconvenient it makes the rest of the world. So the longer you're on the side of the road, the more crashes are going to happen around you, and it's going to keep that cycle going until we clear everything up. So there is no good speed or good way to use your cell phone while you're driving. There's no reason to do it. You know, we understand you're busy, but you know, the law is the law, and we're trying to keep everybody safe.